Hey, it's Cobra here at MaddenGuides.com, and for this Madden 22 defensive plays video breakdown, I want to take a look at a defense that's called the Nickel 155 Double A Gap Will 3 Buzz. Now, the Nickel 155 Double A Gap is brand new to the game. You can only find it in the Steelers defensive playbook. Now, keep in mind there are a couple other Double A Gap defenses you'll find out of Nickel. You've got the Nickel Double A Gap, and then you also got the Nickel 245 Double A Gap as well. What I want to do is I want to go ahead and get on the screen here, get into the field, and kind of break this down a little bit for you and just walk you guys through a couple different setups where you can get pressure on the quarterback. Towards the end of the video breakdown, I am going to show you an advanced setup that's going to allow you to get double edge pressure from the two outside linebackers, so keep that in mind as you're following along. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at it. As I already mentioned, we're running this from the Nickel 155 Double A Gap from the Steelers playbook. Let's go ahead and take a look at the play itself as you look at it. And there it is right there on your screen as you look at it. And that's the defense that we're going to run, is that Will 3 Buzz. So let's go ahead and call that. On the offensive side of the ball, I'm just going to call this curl combo. It's already up on the screen right there. I am sending everybody out. As you can see, you're going to have everybody going out on the offensive side of the ball. All right. Let's go ahead and just break this down real quick as far as the coverages real quickly and just go through those as we look at it. And so what you're going to have here with this particular defense is you're going to have three defenders playing three deep coverage as you look at your screen, which is those three right there on your screen, which is the two corners and the free safety. Then you're going to have this defender right here, which happens to be the strong safety. He's going to play a hook zone over the middle. And if you can imagine in that word of the defense where it's called Will 3 Buzz, he's buzzing over the middle, the short middle of the field, or excuse me, in the hook zone over the middle. So that's where you get the buzz at. And then, of course, the three would be the three defenders, and then the Will being the Will backer, which is the weak side linebacker, which is this guy right here. He's going to blitz. So that's where you get the name of the Will 3 Buzz at, if you're following along with that. Now, as far as with the rest of the defense, you got two defenders that are going to be playing the curl flats, which are these two defenders as you look at it. And then, as I mentioned earlier, let's just kind of go down in here. You're going to have basically a five-man pass rush with this defense. So you're going to end up having these five defenders. As you look at your screen, they are going to be rushing the quarterback. So those are your five defenders that are coming after the quarterback. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and just run this defense without doing anything at all, and just kind of show you what happens here. On occasion, you may end up getting some pressure on this defense, particularly from this linebacker right here. He may end up getting through. I'm not going to tell you all the time, but on occasion I've seen him just get through where maybe the left tackle just forgets he's there. Something happens, but not too often, but every once in a while you might see that. See right there, there's the defense itself without making any adjustments. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the first adjustment that we're going to do right here. And the defender I'm going to take control of is this is going to be the left outside linebacker. Now, all you got to do is just go ahead and move him to the inside. And a lot of times I like to move him basically right next or across from the right tackle as you look at your screen. So here's your right tackle. So what I like to do is just move him right across there. And then what I'm going to do is just do that. And then he's just going to drop back in coverage. That's all you got to do. That's how easy this setup is. If you don't want to get too crazy, just move him to the inside. And then at this point, once the ball is snapped, you can release them and switch off to another defender and get pressure. Now, something else, if you watch that one, on occasion, you may end up getting some inside pressure. Now, this doesn't always happen, but on occasion, you may see something like this where this guy, for some reason, the center, as you looks at it, he likes to kind of block over to this direction here. And if he does that, then it's going to allow this other linebacker as well to get inside pressure from the inside, and then you might get pressure. Obviously, you're going to get pressure from the outside over here from the Will linebacker. So that's what will happen, but almost always, you're always going to get that outside pressure right there. So you're always going to get at least one guy in. You may get two guys in. So that's the basic setup right there. That's the most simplest setup I could come up with this particular formation. Simply just move this guy to the inside, and then at that point, just allow it to snap, and then you can switch off to another defender, or you can stay in control of them, whatever you want to do at that point. So just keep that in mind. All right, I'm going to go on to the next one. If you want to give your opponent a different look, one of the things you can do is take control of this one. Now, this guy happens to be the guy playing the hook zone, right? Now, as long as you get him within under 4 yards, usually around that 3-yard mark, you can just sit right here, and you should end up getting that same pressure I just showed again. This guy off the edge will come off here, and you'll get the pressure. Let's just go ahead and run it. And then again, so you get that pressure. And right there, we actually got some more inside pressure as well. So you can still get the pressure without even having to bring this guy all the way up. One of the things I'm starting to realize as I've been doing this, breaking these defenses down over the last few days, is that this year, I like to say they've come to a happy medium as far as with the blitzes and stuff. The offensive lineman isn't super. Maybe it's because it has something to do with the next-gen stats, which is nice because now I see you can get some pressure without having to be as crazy. It used to be last year and the years prior, man, you had like super duper type offensive linemen that could just do crazy things to block. And this year it doesn't feel that way. So that's nice. So here we go. We're going to do the same thing again. And we get that pressure. So again, you do not have to bring that strong safety all the way down. In last year's game, I might have told you had to bring them all the way down here. And then you might have to hold down the right trigger, and just hope that you get that pressure. Now you don't have to do that. You can just simply just bring him down, definitely less than 4 yards, usually around that 3 yard mark. And then what you're going to end up doing is just get that inside pressure there. And again, you can end up seeing we actually get 2 guys in pretty consistently on that one. So that's another setup right there. Another one you can do is you can simply do this. I'm going to go ahead and call show blitz. Let me go ahead and do that again so you can see it. And that's going to bring everybody up near the line of scrimmage as far as your corners and the safeties and all that. And then this guy here is the one I'm going to take control of. Now this one, I don't really recommend running this one unless they're inside the red zone, but you can bring this guy down in here and usually get inside that 10 yard line. Then you can do this. But again, it's the same idea. You're just going to bring him down, and then you can use him right, because remember, he's covering the deep area. As you look at your screen here, he's covering this deep area as you look at it. By doing what I'm showing here, if you had him inside the red zone, then you could just cover. Matter of fact, let's just go ahead and do that while I'm on this, and then we'll bring it back over there. Let's just do that and talk about that a little bit. Let's just go ahead and bring inside the red zone here. So we'll get inside about the 7-8 yard line. So this is something you could do if you're inside the red zone. You could go ahead and bring him up, and then if you wanted to, once the ball snapped, let's just go ahead and snap it. You could go ahead and basically just patrol the short middle of the field there, and this would be a nice little red zone defense you could do, because it's going to get you 2 defenders. Now you can cover the short area of the field rather than just 1. So that's another thing you can do with that one. You're still going to get the edge pressure, which is what I just showed. All right, let's go ahead and respot the ball. So I'm going to go back to the next setup here. And this one's going to be the advanced setup. And we're going to do a couple little adjustments here. Let's just go ahead and put this on the 30 yard line or so. We're going to make a couple of adjustments. One thing right off the bat, as you look at this particular defense, is that you've got Watt over here. Let me go ahead and show you where he's at. Well, I want to go ahead and point him out to you just real quick. So you've got Watt lined up about right here. TJ Watt's lined up right there. If you look at his coverages, what it's showing him doing is he's playing that curl flat. Now, obviously, he's a great pass rusher. You probably don't want to have him dropping back in zone coverage. You'd rather use his abilities and allow him to go ahead and get pressure on the quarterback. So let's go ahead and do that. So to do that, you can do a couple different ways. You can sub them, or you can go ahead and use the packages. So I'm going to go ahead and use the package here. And the package that I'm going to go ahead and use, as you look at it, is the outside linebacker swap. Just go ahead and use that one if you're going to do it. And then that's going to move him into position as you look at it. Let's just go ahead and zoom in real quick here. That's going to move him into that linebacker spot, which is the will linebacker spot for this particular formation. All right, so let's go ahead and call the same defense again. And again, we're going to call that will 3 buzz. And then on the offensive side of the ball, we'll call the curl combo. And then now you can see right now, as you look at it, we're going to have TJ Watt is now lined up right here, which is what we want. And this is going to allow us to get that edge pressure from him. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make another couple more adjustments here. We're going to go ahead and put this guy. This is Bush right here. Now, he's pretty fast himself. If you want to, you could do some switching around. I think he's like a 90 speed, if I remember right. You could put him in the outside linebacker spot, which is the left outside linebacker spot, which would be over here. Let's go ahead and just take a look at that. I'm not going to do it for this breakdown, but you can definitely get creative. You could sub him in if you wanted to and put him over here. I'm not going to do that for now. What I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hot route him. Go ahead and switch back over to him. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hot route him into a curl flat, which you see right there. And then I'm going to take control of this guy right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and re-blitz him. All right, now he's blitzing. Now you can see one of the cool things about his blitz angle is it has him going to the outside here. As you look at it, it's got him going to the outside, and then he comes back. So that's kind of nice right there as far as that goes. And then what you're going to do is you're going to switch off to this guy right here, and you're going to bring him down into this area here. Basically the same thing I showed earlier. Now what's going to happen here is we're going to get pressure from Watt coming off the edge, and then we're also going to get pressure coming from this guy right here as well. So both these guys are going to get pressure. Now Watt might get blocked. There's a possibility that he may get blocked by the left tackle. If he does, he can use his pass rush rating, his X factor ratings, and get by that guy pretty quick. So let's go ahead and run to play, and then we'll just see what happens here. And there we get the double edge pressure. Watt doesn't even get blocked. Now on occasion he may get blocked, but there's your double edge pressure. So it's a very, very simple setup if you want to go ahead and do this. So again, you're just replacing this guy and having him do the curl flat. You're re-blitzing this guy right here. Instead of having him play the curl flat, you're just blitzing him from the outside. And then you're simply just taking control of this guy right here, which is the strong safety. He's playing the hook zone, and you're just bringing him up into that gap. And then you're just going to do this, and here's your pressure. So that's something you guys can consider doing as well. That's going to allow you to get this pressure on the quarterback. And the coverages, as you can imagine, are pretty decent. They're not the best, but there's just some nice heat here. You can see the heat coming right up there, up the gap right there. Now, let's go ahead and look at one last thing. Or not the gap, but on the outside. Let's do one last thing here. Let's go ahead and hot route the running back to go ahead and stay in the pass block. Sorry about that. We'll get him the pass block right there. And then we're going to do the same setup I just mentioned that I showed earlier. We're going to go ahead and put him in a curl flat. So you can see right there, he's in the curl flat, re-blitzing this guy right there, bringing this guy down. Now this, keep in mind, this is with the running back staying in the pass block. And that's the idea of this. I just want to show you that you should be able to get some, still should be able to get some heat coming off the edge here. There they end up getting blocked, but you should be able to get some type of edge pressure. And maybe, and again, that's why you put TJ Watt on the other side. That way he can get in once he gets past the left tackle, and you should still be able to get some pressure, even if they do leave the running back in the pass block. Even though you may not get the what am I trying to say to you guys? The double edge heat that you were looking for earlier when he was going out, but at least you get some kind of pressure here. Let's just go ahead and scoot him up a little bit against this. Oh, I forgot to do one little thing there. My bad. Forgot to hot route the linebacker to blitz off the edge. Let me do that one more time. My bad. And then that's really all I really wanted to show on this defense. Let me go ahead and redo this setup here. So we're going to go ahead and put this guy in the curl flat. Put this guy here on a blitz. Take control of this guy right here. And again, we got the blitz set up right there. I am going to go ahead and hot route the running back to go ahead and stay in the pass block. I'm going to go ahead and move this guy up, and then I'll show you what happens here. Like I said, you may not get the edge pressure, but all it takes is one of those guys to get through, and now the running back's committed. So even though that doesn't get the true type of pressure I was showing earlier with the double edge where they had 5 guys going out, you still get some pressure coming from one of those guys coming out of there as far as with this particular defense. So hopefully this is a defense you guys can show. I can show you guys how to get some pressure on the quarterback. It may not get it all the time, but it certainly does get in there, and it's a real simple setup that you can do to allow you to get pressure. So again, let's go ahead and just do it one more time here. Go ahead and put him in the curl flat, re-blitz this guy right here, and then bring the safety down into there, and then just see what happens here. And then right there, you get that pressure with everybody going out. You get double edge pressure. So at any rate, this is a defense you can definitely call that allows you to get some pressure on the quarterback. And it's some different looks that you can give your opponent. And if they're going to send everybody out, you can definitely get pressure. If they leave the running back in the pass block, he may pick it up, may not, depends. But at least it's something you guys can do that's going to make your opponent really think about sending out everybody out every single time. And that's the nice thing about this particular defense. So the name of the defense is called Nickel 155 Double A Gap Will 3 Buzz.